With alcohol stoves, one of the advantages is that you can measure pretty much exactly how much fuel you will use. So you put only really the fuel that you think you're going to use for the 2, 3, 4, 5 days, whatever, into a container. I like these ones because they collapse, so as I use the fuel, they will get smaller and smaller. The problem is that although I, for example, know exactly how much fuel I need to boil, say, 500 milliliters in with the caldera cone, well, that works in my kitchen, but it doesn't really work in the wild, because you could have colder water, you could have wind and so on, and quite often just simply because you spill some of it as you put it in. Okay, well, the plane is gone. Okay, so what happens is that if you guess it the wrong way is too little, well, you have to put fuel a second time. When you do that, you're wasting a lot of fuel, because for a start you need to, well, you have to move your pot out of the heat so it cools down. Then you need to let your stove cool down before you pour more fuel into it. Don't have it loaded with the stove hot, because it can burn, as it can flare up as you put the fuel in. So you end up using about 1.5 times probably the fuel that you would otherwise. And my cat wants to be in the picture. Sit down. Now, if you put too much, well, then the problem is that most cannot think of how to recover the fuel. Here we are. So this is how I do it. Okay, as I'm explaining this, I'm just waiting for the white box stove to bloom. That's somewhat similar to the way it would happen with the cat or super cat stove. So what I've built is what I call a snuffer. Now this particular one is for the white box, simply because it fits over the top. This one here is for this kind of stoves, where so I just shaped a bit of foil over the stove, and all I do is just put the snuffer over the top, and that will snuff the flame out. Now, as I'm talking to you, I can hear this the caldera cone boiling. In fact, I have a bowl here, carbon fiber lid, very nice. So what I do, I'll demonstrate it. Take that out, move the cone, put that on top, and now it will be off. The flame is gone. Okay, so I let it cool down, and as I let it cool down, this is about to bloom. It takes, as another plane, it takes about 1 to 1.5 minutes to come up. Okay, the water temperature at the moment is about 15 centigrade, so it takes about 1.5 minutes. Okay, now it's in full bloom. I don't know if you can really see the flame from there. I can't tell from the screen, but I've got this nice big flame. So let's pretend that I've done my burn, and I want to, so say I had the pot on top as you would on these ones. Not something like this, you need something much wider, of course. Now I want to put it out, I just do that. That's it. Alright, again I'll let it cool down. Now this one is cooled down, hopefully, by now. Yes, it is. So this is what I do. I'll just pour it, as you can see, it comes out from all sorts of holes there. And I have put a lot more than I needed, just for the demonstration. Okay. There's my alcohol in there, and then of course I just transfer it back to the container. That's it. So I have the luxury of putting the flame out exactly at the point I want it. So if I'm only doing coffee, well, I don't need a full boil unless I'm sterilizing the water. If I'm actually cooking, rehydrating food, then typically yes I do. I'll let it boil for a minute or so and then add it to my food. And as soon as I pull that up, that's it. Put that on top, done.